Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Miami at the Exchange ETF conference, and joining me for this segment we have Will Rhind. He's the founder and CEO of GraniteShares. We're going to discuss single stock ETFs and why investors should start using them. Will, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks, this time in Florida.
Yeah, thank you. Great to see you again.
So what are single stock ETFs and why should investors consider them?
So single stock ETFs are leveraged ETFs or inverse ETFs that give exposure to popular stocks. So put very simply, take a popular stock like Tesla, you can have a leveraged single stock ETF on the long side, and you can also have an ETF that gives exposure to the short. So the price of Tesla goes down, investors profit, or if consequently the price goes up and you're on the long, investors profit that way.
What trends do you see in single stock ETFs for 2023 and beyond?
I think we're going to see more interest in long securities or people buying the market. There was a huge amount of interest in the short side last year, clearly because the market fell. There was a lot of volatility. And while I think volatility will still remain high, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in playing some of these themes with single stocks. So whether it's China reopening through our Alibaba single stock, or things like Tesla and the recovery in those shares.
Are they used more for a speculative type of trade? Can you use them as a hedging vehicle?
Some people do use, because typically, like for example, we have an inverse Tesla, so it doesn't have leverage, it just provides inverse. So people can use that as a hedging tool, or they can use it for short-term, more speculative behavior. It's really up to the investor as to how they use it, just like an ETF. And obviously on the long side, same thing, long time. People can hold those for a short period of time, just depending on what their investment objective is.
It's interesting how you can use them as a trade for thematics, as you had mentioned earlier. Tell us about the GraniteShares suite of single stock ETFs.
Yeah, so we have single stocks on popular companies such as Tesla. Coinbase has been very, very popular because, again, there's the ability to play crypto,
right,
especially leveraged crypto. There's no leveraged crypto ETF in the market, so Coinbase acts as a proxy for investors looking to get that kind of exposure. We have Apple, obviously a very popular name, Nvidia, Alibaba, and Facebook or Meta.
Are you seeing flows build in these products?
Yeah, I mean, last week was a big week clearly for volume-wise,
right.
and we saw a lot of volume, huge amount of interest in Tesla and Coinbase, but again, more interest building now in other stocks, even Apple after the earnings last week. So
I was just going to ask you if there's any way to determine if you pick up an activity around earnings, around specific product announcements.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see more of this because before the earnings and after the earnings, you can now see, even at the market close, you can start to see some trade activity happening, and then obviously before the open, the trade activity happening around the earnings. I think as people start to realize that, okay, earnings is coming up, if I'm bullish or bearish on a particular stock, it might be a way to implement that short term through leveraged single stocks.
It'd be interesting to see how this product grows. Appreciate the insight as always, Will. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me from Miami. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.